Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Illini Drive. I am Josh Pietsch, joined alongside finally again with Gabby Hajduk. Her and I haven't done a show together in, a couple weeks now, Gabby?
Weeks?
Yeah, because I did it with, I wasn't there last week. Tuesday this week I did it with Brendan. Tuesday last week we didn't have a show, and Thursday I had an event. So it's been a minute.
Wow, it's been a while.
It has been a while.
I was on the show yesterday, though, because Nathan couldn't make it, so it was me and good old Brendan.
So Brendan did 3 shows in a row.
Brendan did 3 shows. I mean, he is the editor, so.
He's a real trooper.
He is a real
More
trooper.
than 2 shows a week.
More than 2 shows a week, Brendan.
We love you, Brendan. Well, anyways, Brendan and I were on the show on Tuesday, and everything got cut out. And one of the things that got cut out that we were going to talk about was the preview of The Bachelorette. So, Gabby, would you like to start the recap off from the show?
Yeah. Also, the coin flips tonight?
Yes, it is tonight.
It's supposed to be at 6 o'clock. They haven't flipped it yet.
I think they're flipping at the end.
Oh. Okay.
I can pull that up. I can keep tabs on it.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I'm refreshing Twitter. So yeah, it'll be interesting. But yeah, Bachelorette. So we had to watch it separately, because we were supposed to watch it in my apartment Tuesday, and then my power went out. So that was great. Just got all of our power back today. I
made the long walk over from the studio for nothing.
Yeah, for nothing. Just quality bonding time between me, Brendan, and Josh.
Yep.
And he doesn't appreciate it.
Yeah. You guys are just such a burden.
We watched separately. This episode was a big episode. Tayshia finally comes in, and she actually gets to talk to the guys. 4 new guys come in, already starting drama. Spencer. He's pretty attractive, so we'll let it slide.
Yeah, not his personality, though.
No.
He walked in and acted like he was the man. Like, hey, bro, like, your confidence, like, that's cool, my man, but I don't think he should act like he's, the big man on campus when he's been there for 15 seconds. Everyone else, as he knows, has been there for
3
months.
Weeks.
Well, how long were they there quarantining, though?
2 weeks, so 5 weeks.
All right.
They've been there for 5 weeks. Tayshia comes in, wows everybody. I think Tayshia's beautiful. She wows everybody. She has great conversations with everybody. She has her first group date, which went well. And she has her first one-on-one with Brendan. I like
Brendan a lot. He's
just this calm, cool, collected guy, but he opened up to Tayshia right away, and they actually have something very significant in common.
Yep.
They both were already married and divorced at a younger age, and he was so nervous to tell her. And then he told her, and she's like, well, actually, I've kind of been through the same thing. So it was a really great bonding moment. I really like Brendan. I think he's my front runner right now.
Definitely me too. I like him a lot.
And she was like, this could be my future husband. The producers are freaking out and being like, oh my God, not another Clarendale. Also, we skipped through the Clarendale talk.
I did watch the Clarendale
Okay,
talk.
give me the rundown of that. Me and Brendan couldn't handle it.
You really didn't miss much. They were just talking about their connection and their love for each other and all that stupid love crap.
Yeah,
and
we don't believe that.
They asked, Chris Harrison made a big deal, as he does everything.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about the way Chris Harrison approaches everything, by the way. He's so dramatic all the time.
Yeah, but
whatever.
That's his kind of job.
People love the drama. It's okay. So he was like, Claire, Dale, for the last time, did you guys lie to all of Bachelor Nation about whether or not you talked to each other? And they said absolutely not. But, we did see a little bit of Dale's personality, and Claire was crying, saying how much she loves him, and blah, 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 and all that. So, hey, listen, they're happy for each other. I think Claire's attractive. I think she has, not no personality,
Her personality trait is love, loving herself, which is good.
She's here. I'll say this. She's not down to earth at all.
No.
Where Tayshia is so cool.
Yeah.
Tayshia has a very attractive personality where she makes people feel warm and welcome. She's always smiling at you, giving conversation. Tayshia is so much better for the show. See, that's why I'm wondering why they picked Claire in the first place.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the last couple seasons, there's been some issues with just really immature contestants being 22, 23. So I think they were trying to not appeal to an older crowd, but just have some more maturity. Yeah. But they went from 0 to 100. Claire's 39 and their typical age is, I would say, around 25, 26.
Yeah.
So I think they just went a little extreme. And I mean, I understand because she knows what she wants by now and things like that. So it makes total sense. But Next week should be good because Tayshia gets the full episode. The preview looks really intense for the rest of the show.
So there's a lot of, we know that it's just not Brennan because we've seen her kiss a lot of guys in the previews. Yes. But I had a question for you. Okay. So the other rose there were 3 roses given out, obviously Spencer and Brennan. Then my favorite guy in this whole thing has been Easy, and he got a rose too.
Yeah.
So 3 guys got a rose. But what my question for you was, I know that Spencer's new. I know Easy's been around the whole time. What about Brendan? Is he one of the new 4 or no?
No,
he's not.
Been
okay.
Around. He just never really got a connection with Claire. He wasn't really he didn't have a one-on-one at all.
Oh, and then Jason.
Yeah, Jason left. That was kind of expected. He was 2 weeks, really. We're whatever.
Yeah.
He was fine, but
he was in love with Claire. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Whatever. All right, we can move on to real sports talk now.
Real sports talk. That's what I like to hear. So Illinois football, obviously the main sport of this season, main thing we talk about on this show. And I think that on all 3 shows we've talked about that JV game, that JV versus varsity game against Minnesota. But luckily for Illinois, they have another shot. They have Rutgers coming up on this Saturday. The game's at noon, by the way, not 11.
Yeah, I don't know why it got moved.
I have no idea.
Kind of weird.
I know it's weird.
Maybe travel plans or something got switched around. Who knows?
I'm not sure, but yes. So Saturday they play, and even though Rutgers, they do have a win on the year, I would still say that this is a winnable game for Illinois. But if they want any shot at doing something, a lot of work to do in practice because what we saw last Saturday was embarrassing.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think this is a winnable game.
Definitely.
Rutgers isn't what Rutgers used to be. You used to look at Rutgers and be like, oh, easy win. Rutgers has competed this year. They obviously had 1 win, and then they're coming off a loss to Ohio State where they played competitively. I mean, scoring 27 points off Ohio State is something to be proud of. So they can score. We know that. They can score. Me and Brendan were kind of looking at the numbers yesterday. I think they average around 300 yards a game.
Something like that, which is fine.
I think 120 rushing yards and maybe 180 passing yards. Pretty solid. They score pretty efficiently. They do. I don't think they put up the most yards in the Big Ten, but they've been putting up a lot of points. They also give up a lot of points. Yeah. And that's going to be the key for Illinois is just getting this offense going. I've kind of lost a little hope in the defense. Yeah. I can't see much changing. So I think this Illinois defense is going to give up points. That's kind of a no-brainer. It's going to happen. I would expect Rutgers to at least put 30 up on Illinois.
Yeah.
But can the offense finally reciprocate that? I mean, besides Wisconsin, they haven't played a top 5 Big Ten defense. I mean, not to knock on Purdue or Minnesota, but those are teams that give up a lot of points this season. They're not the best defenses in the conference. And you're getting nearly shut out. Minnesota was, I think, the worst defense statistically in the Big Ten before their game against Illinois, or at least near the bottom. Illinois scored 14 points.
They scored 14 measly points on a... Yeah, weren't they starting a walk-on at D-line or something like that?
Yeah, and their offense just looked bad. It's not just that they didn't score, it just looked bad. So I don't know, this offense needs to get going.
Yeah.
Obviously, we have a quarterback situation to consider.
Right. So obviously the offense, I think that last week was probably, at least this season in my mind, a little rock bottom for the offense. They're not going to perform that poorly again. Now, granted, they did get lucky on that Amater-Bebe 52-yard reception because it wasn't a very good pass. He came back, the defender fell, Amater-Bebe ran for the 52-yard touchdown. Whoop-de-freaking-do. That was not great at all. So
yeah.
Obviously, all the receivers are going to be healthy as of what we know, but then probably a new quarterback. Doug Kramer's returning, McCourt for the kicker. When I asked Rod Smith about that, he seemed pretty happy. But I think the big one in my mind is that you don't have Karan Taylor anymore, who was very, he showed that he could hang with the Big Ten defense when he came in against Purdue, but he wasn't prepared for. And then when Minnesota had the week to look at his film and prepare for him, he got eaten up. He had 33 pass yards through 3 quarters. He kind of ran the ball. Like I said, his 1 touchdown wasn't great. So this week, hopefully, if Isaiah Williams does start for Illinois, he can put up better production because this is a top 300 kid. He hasn't gotten his chance yet. And I really think that he's been waiting for this opportunity. He doesn't have to do it at home. He's going to go on the road against a Rutgers team, which does not have the best defense. hopefully Isaiah Williams can start off his Illinois career pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Lovey's never going to crack on like who's his starter. That's just kind of how Lovey is, which I understand. I respect
it. It's annoying as a reporter.
Yeah, as a reporter, it's annoying. I respect it. We obviously don't know the status of Matt Robinson, but I would have to assume Isaiah is your clear starter for this week.
I wasn't even considering Matt Robinson, if I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know the severity of his injury. It didn't look that serious, but obviously, we're not trainers. Yeah. We're not on the football staff, so we don't really know what's going on. But I think this is a big game for Isaiah if he is going to be the starter. He came in as a top recruit. He's very undersized. But he has talent. He has talent. High school, he was very talented. And he came to Illinois because he wanted a shot at playing quarterback. Other schools were recruiting him to change positions. He wants to play quarterback. He has to show it this week. Even when they just run him in the Wildcat offense, he can't do anything. Like, he hasn't really been able to pick up yards on the ground. He hasn't completed a pass, right?
Yep.
Hasn't completed a pass, thrown like 2 interceptions.
Hey, on one of his interceptions, though, he launched that thing. I think it was last year. He threw the ball like 65 yards. Like, he chucked that thing, and it looked pretty good in the air. There was a spiral. It got picked off, but at least we know the kid has an arm.
Yeah, I think he's talented. Yeah. He's talented, but we haven't really seen that come to life yet.
Right.
So I'm excited. I'm not the biggest, Isaiah Williams. I'm not the biggest one on the hype train. I'm not on the hype train for Isaiah Williams. I don't know if I have a lot of confidence, but I feel like we can only go up from last week. And if we can't go up from last week, there's issues.
Well, if you can't go up from last week, it's an 0-8 season.
Exactly. And I think, obviously, you're considering all the effects of COVID and Brandon Peters and whatnot. But if you can't put together a solid offense, you have a super talented offensive line, 2 really talented running backs in Chase Brown and Mike Epstein. If you can't put together yardage and points that way, then it's not going to matter that much when Brandon Peters comes back. You know what I mean? Like, Brandon Peters isn't a Heisman candidate. He's not. He's not a Justin Fields. He's not going to just torch you in the air. He's solid, and he'll put up yards, and he'll probably throw a touchdown or 2 a game, barring the Wisconsin game. But if you can't even establish the run with this veteran offensive line who came into the season as pretty much all of them were NFL prospects, they haven't looked that great this season either. Obviously, getting Doug Kramer back is huge, so Kendrick Green can slide back to his position, which shout out Kendrick Green. He has done awesome at center.
But he can finally go back to guard where he belongs.
And Doug Kramer belongs at center. Doug Kramer is...
He's the center, period.
Yeah, I mean, him and Alex Palczewski are definitely the 2, I would say, top NFL prospects.
Sorry, the phone's ringing.
Oh.
So many technical difficulties here on Illini Drive. Gosh darn it.
Do.
Apologies. Give us a minute here.
There we go.
She was messing with the wrong phone. Sorry to call you out, Gabby. But no,
it's okay.
I think with the offensive line, in my opinion, by the way, the offensive line hasn't been bad this year. That has not been the problem in any way.
I don't think they've been bad, but I don't think they've lived up to their potential.
True. Obviously, Wisconsin's D-line has 2 probably surefire, top 3 rounders for football.
But they kind of got dominated against Minnesota, too.
Against Minnesota, yes, but I feel like the chemistry, everything was off.
Well, yeah.
Something was going on.
The whole game. I think with Doug Kramer back, you expect to take a bigger step.
Yeah.
Mike Epstein had a really great game last week, but you need to get Chase Brown more involved.
You do.
I don't know what's going on in that area. I think every time Chase Brown touches the ball, it ends up in a positive direction.
Yeah,
but he hasn't touched the ball that much.
I agree. And last week I asked them about it, and they said they were going to get the running backs more involved, which they did. But almost half of that was Mike Epstein's big run.
Runs,
again,
which were just a couple.
On Lovey's little presser on Monday, he said it again. We are getting the run game involved. Expect that, but One little thing before we had to break, Lovie Smith told us on Monday, he was like, we're only 3 games in. This is a long season. Unfortunately, Lovie, this is not a long season. You only have 5 games left. And now, granted, you still have more than half your schedule left. You have 5 games, but this team needs to prove something. Not many of those
are winnable games.
Exactly. You have Iowa, Northwestern, maybe. Nebraska, maybe. Rutgers, these are all big
And then
maybes.
Ohio State, which is a guaranteed
Ohio State's going to be a freshman varsity game. That's not going to be pretty, but it's going to be really important what this team does, how they bounce back, coming against Rutgers. Even one win would do so much because as Brendan, brought up on Tuesday when I did the show with him, 0-8 looks awful and will hinder your recruiting, your program in general for 3 to 4 years probably. And obviously, we're seeing Rutgers this year coming back finally under Greg Schiano, but Illinois probably, our recruits go to Purdue, Iowa, Northwestern, Wisconsin. If they can't even establish a solid recruiting base, this team really, really needs to win a game or else they're in big trouble.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm worried. I don't know. I think this Saturday has the potential to be the turning point for the season. And if it isn't, if they don't get it done, I think it might be time to start over, which is really scary to think about.
Yeah.
But if you can't win this game, what game are you going to win this season?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you look at, like I said, maybe Iowa at home, maybe Nebraska. I feel awful about Northwestern.
Agreed.
All right.
I don't know.
I think we're going to talk just a little bit more when we get back from the break and do score predictions. That's next on Illini Drive. Welcome back to Illini Drive. All right, so as we mentioned, the Illini take on Rutgers, the Scarlet Knights in New Jersey. It's a road game this Saturday. So Rutgers is 1-2 on the year. They started off the year with, I believe, a 38-20 win over Michigan State, which now, a week later, looked a lot better because Michigan State beat up on Michigan. But obviously the Big Ten's weird this year. But Rutgers definitely... I'm not sure they have one key weapon. They have a pretty good quarterback that runs the offense well. The one thing that I've noticed is that Rutgers likes to run their trick plays.
Yeah.
Have you seen those over the? So those should be interesting. Yeah, they won 38-27 over Michigan State. It's Noah Vedral. He's their transfer quarterback from Nebraska. Like you said earlier, they only have about 180 passing yards a game, but they're efficient. He's throwing well above, I think, 60% for his completion percentage. Their running back, I think his name is Pacheco or something like that. He's efficient. So even though they don't have any huge playmakers like in Minnesota or Wisconsin, they're still going to be an offense to worry about. Yeah,
when I was looking at their stats yesterday, they have 2 or 3 running backs that all average around 60-ish yards. I think one averages 60, 50, and 40, somewhere around that. And that's kind of the same for the receiver production. So they have a really well-balanced team. Obviously, it helps to have a star like, Rondell Moore, David Bell, Rashad Bateman, things like that. But if you just are consistent across the board, you can have that same level of production. And that makes it so much harder when you're looking at the Illinois defense, because the Illinois defense is struggling around the board right now. Or across the board right now. So if you put 4 guys out there, 4 Rutgers players out there who can all make plays consistently, you might really be able to run up a score in Illinois if the offense can't, stay on the field and limit the defense's or Rutgers offense's time of possession. Because then the defense is getting tired out. It's just going to be bad by the second half. We've seen it already this season. So I'm worried for the Illinois defense because if you have all those guys who can consistently produce and consistently get yards, and you're worried about 5 different people instead of 2, making big plays, that concerns me, especially when you have a strong running back. When you saw last weekend, the Illinois line just get ran over, completely ran over. And then in the second level, you see linebackers missing tackles, and then you get all the way back to your secondary, and it's just blown coverages, more missed tackles, more misreads, not filling in the gaps. And that's just that's a mess. And it looked like a mess last week. And that's what you saw. can't be missing those tackles once you get to that second level. If the line can't stop the run at the, line of scrimmage, you're relying on those guys in that second level to be able to, tackle like they're literally supposed to. That's their job, to get back there and get physical. And we didn't see that. They got outplayed and out physicaled, if that's a term, last week. And that can't happen this week.
Yeah, I mean, the D line, as we know, was going to be shaky. But then you get to guys like Milo Eifler and Jake Hansen. And yes, Jake Hansen is godly at forcing fumbles, and he did that against Minnesota. Mm-hmm. But other than that, there was just nothing going there. He was mad after the game. You can tell they're angry. Obviously, no one can say they're doing this on purpose, but your production has to be better. Something's got to change mentally. I don't know if you have to change something in practice, but you're exactly right. I'm pretty sure Keith Randolph is back. Not that he makes that big of a difference, but he is just another body that they're getting back for the. I think he's a defensive end, right? So D-line, just for those guys, because he was out due to contact tracing. And I don't think we have word yet about Marquez Beeson and Nate Hobbs.
I know Nate Hobbs was practicing this week. There were pictures of him practicing. I haven't seen anything on Marquez. I'd assume, he was in a full boot. So I'd assume he'd be out again.
Hope to get one of the two back, probably.
Yeah, I think you definitely have a better shot of Nate Hobbs coming back. I think Marquez might be out for a couple weeks. I don't know. I'm kind of thinking he might hit the transfer portal if, he's just not staying healthy here and things aren't going his way. But I would think you would see Nate Hobbs on the field this week.
Yeah, Nate Hobbs probably. Marquez and transferring, that's a whole nother conversation for another time. He'll play again this year, I think. So,
yeah.
I don't think they said anything about a stress fracture or anything like that.
No, I think if it was a season-ending injury, we would have known about it. But I'm excited to get James McCourt back. I think Caleb Griffin, the backup kicker, held his own and
with
has
one field goal.
Played well. He's, kicked his extra points, gotten things done. But I think there's obviously a bigger level of trust in James McCourt, and that's obvious when, Lovey's constantly going for fourth down or electing to punt. Illinois lost the coin flip.
So it's at Missouri?
It's at
Good.
Missouri.
That's what I wanted.
Why?
We'll talk about that after we do score predictions here.
But I just think it's big that you have James McCourt back because he can hit really long field goals, and I think I respect Levy for going for it on a fourth down a lot this season, but at the same time, you're just not converting enough. So getting those extra 3 points is still momentum and still putting points on the board. So I think I'm at least excited.
Yeah, McCourt coming back will be happy. When I asked Rod Smith, I was very, I was pleasantly surprised as to how excited he was about it, because I thought I was just going to get oh yeah, he's back, he's a good kicker, it'll help. But he was really excited. He definitely made it clear that they made decisions the last 2 weeks based on having Caleb Griffin in there and not McCourt. So yeah, McCourt's really good. They think he's McCourt's one of the best in the Big Ten, as Rod Smith said. All right, so guys back after the embarrassing 41-14 loss. Gabby, what is your score prediction for this Saturday?
Well, so Rutgers is favorited, right?
I think they're 7-point favorite. It's about a touchdown.
Yeah, 7.5. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I would probably have to say Rutgers 34. Rutgers 34. Illinois, a couple field goals. I'm going to say 2 touchdowns, 14 plus 6, 20. 34-20.
I'm going to go with the solid 38-24 Rutgers.
Okay.
No way we put up 30 points. No. Absolutely no way. Them? Oh, they can shoot for 40.
I always forget mine. I'm writing mine down.
I'm pretty good about remembering mine. I'll go 38-24. I think we match.
What did I say? 34-20. And you said what?
You said 34-20. I said 38-24. And I believe we both took Rutgers.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
That is not a tough pick there. All right. See what you do on Saturday, football team. All right. Minor news, I guess. Bragging rights between Illinois and Missouri, which is usually played in St. Louis, which is a neutral site, because if Illinois fans don't know, Missouri plays in Columbia, Missouri. So it's about halfway in between the two schools. And with the whole COVID thing, they didn't want to go to a neutral site for people to travel and all that. So, they wanted one of the teams to host. So just now, Andy Katz and CBS or someone did like a little show talking to Brett, the head coaches, a couple players in the ADs, and then he did a coin flip. And sounds like Missouri won, right? So they get home court advantage. So Illinois will play at Missouri in the middle of December in that game. That's what I personally wanted to happen because I always feel really bad about these bragging rights games for Illinois. I've never had a good feeling in my stomach about them. So I feel like if Illinois, even though there's no fans, if they lost at home, now we have just a little bit of a safety net if Illinois blows that one too, because
that's true.
And then it looks better, I guess, on the resume if you win a road game.
I guess, yeah, I could.
Like, Illinois should have beaten Missouri last year by double digits. They lost by about 8.
Last year was so bad.
Well, the beginning of the season for Illinois was bad in general last year. Obviously, the Miami lost pretty bad to Arizona, so that wasn't good.
Bit of a rocky road to start things off. I would say.
And the team's obviously more veteran this year, so hopefully that doesn't happen again. I feel like Kofi's kind of the X factor there with another year of him. I just hope that he embarrasses Jeremiah Tillman.
Oh, me too.
I hope that Tillman. He was the player that was interviewed, by the way, with Quanzo Martin because they did the head coach and the player at the same time. Yeah, so it was Tillman and Quanzo Martin, and I'm not a fan of either of those people, by the way.
I'm not a fan of anyone on Mizzou.
Okay, I mean, well, Mark Smith, obviously, they took from us.
Yeah, we hate.
Yep, Jeremiah Tillman. He retweeted his commitment post and then managed to decommit the very next day. That was a little weird.
Yeah.
That was almost scummier than the Cliff Alexander hat trick that he pulled on us.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that top 100 kid that went to Kansas? Yeah. That wasn't good, but yeah, I mean, with Quanzo Martin, like hiring Michael Porter Jr.'s dad or whatever as an assistant to get him there, it's kind of karma that Porter obviously never wished this on anyone, but it's kind of karma that Porter Jr. ended up breaking his back and not playing a single minute besides the tournament, which he didn't even play well in. So
yeah, that's tough.
But yeah, that game in my eyes is probably a must win if this team, wants to look good at least and have confidence going forward, especially for Big Ten play. But I think everything else is finalized now, right? Indianapolis is going to host Jimmy V, and then at Duke for Cameron Indoor for the Big Ten ACC.
I think they have one more non-conference game to schedule.
Yeah, plus the 3 at State Farm to start the year.
And then we just need the Big Ten schedule waiting. At Big Ten, please release the schedule.
Probably.
They said sometime this week.
I'll go this
Thursday.
weekend.
Hurry up.
I'll go this weekend. If not tomorrow, Saturday or Sunday. I'm not honestly as anxious as I thought I'd be about it because...
No, I just want to see the schedule.
Yeah, me
so I
too.
can plan.
Which games you got to be at?
Yeah.
You and Brandon?
If I can be at any game.
Brandon
That's really what I
Simberg.
want to know.
I think you'll be able to be at games.
Hopefully.
If they let media in for football, they should do the exact same way.
I think they will.
Yeah.
Champagne's Alternative. WPGU 1071.
Minor issue. Having some technical difficulties.
Sorry, guys, about the technical.
Other basketball news. Ivy League canceled their winter sports seasons, which is not good because Ivy League has been the first to cancel everything.
Yeah. They've kind of predicted everything that's happened, but based on what happened with football and how much they've already gone into planning this college basketball season, I actually feel okay about the Big Ten probably not canceling.
Yeah, I don't think so. I am just a little worried. I don't know. They just cancel everything first, and I don't think they're gonna I don't think any other conference is gonna follow that until absolutely necessary. But cases around the country are just spiking bad right now. Spiking so high everywhere that it's worrying me a little.
No, it is for me too. And I know a couple buddies of mine that go to Mizzou got a little notice today, hey, you might want to pack a little extra stuff in case we don't start the school year in person for second semester. So, and I'm sure that Illinois will send something like that out within the next week or two because this is our last weekend before fall break, or Thanksgiving or whatever Illinois does for that. But yeah, I mean, like I said, right now, but based on what we saw with football, there's less people on a basketball team. Big, like, March Madness, the official people already said it's happening. I really don't think any other major conferences are going to call college basketball, knocking on wood for that, because the Pac-12 and the Big Ten were obviously jumping on the football decision too. But it still definitely means something, because the Ivy League is legitimate. They send a team to the tournament every year, obviously, but that team can make noise. Like Cornell's a 12 seed a couple of years ago. They would win games. I think Harvard got pretty close to winning a game. Yale's good. Penn's good too. Penn beat Villanova last year, I think, early in the year.
Yeah.
So, no, definitely significant, but I'm feeling pretty good about it. All right, we're going to take a short break here. When we get back, as we usually do on the Thursday show, preview NFL games. That's next on Illini Drive. All right, welcome back to Illini Drive. Before we get done a little earlier here today, we're going to run through this week's slate of football games. So tonight, pretty good one. Indianapolis Colts at Tennessee Titans. Thursday night football. Gabby.
I think this is the first Thursday night football since like the beginning of the season I've been interested in.
Oh, give Bears Bucks some love, Gabby. Come on.
That was the beginning of the season.
It was like week 3 or 4.
That's the beginning of the season.
Okay, all right.
That's what I mean. Like, the last 3 or 4 weeks have been horrible Thursday night football games.
Yeah,
so I'm kind of excited for today. Where is it?
Tennessee. Yeah. Colts have a pretty good defense.
Colts do. The Colts are good.
Colts are definitely good.
But Tennessee's also good. Did Tennessee won last week, right?
Yeah.
Who'd they beat?
The Bears.
Oh, the Bears. Yeah. I'll probably go Tennessee on this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Tennessee too. I don't think they played very well last week, so I think that they're gonna win by a touchdown probably. All right, pretty good game. Texans at Browns.
Ooh. As much as it pains me, probably the Browns.
I can't pick Baker Mayfield. I don't even know if he's playing. I'm gonna go Texans.
Okay.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson. Come on, baby.
I hope you're right.
The football team at the Lions.
Lions. I think the Lions are solid.
I'm taking the football team.
What?
Lions are so bad. Lions are losers. Jacksonville. I'm taking the football team. Okay. Jacksonville Jaguars at Packers.
Packers
by 1 million. Man, I wonder what it would be like to actually play in the NFC East right now. Eagles and Giants.
Ew.
I know.
I'd probably take
disgusting.
The Giants, to be honest.
I'll go Eagles. I have four road teams. Oh no. I'm 3-1 with the road teams. Green Bay's at home. Buccaneers at Panthers. It's a good game.
I'd probably still say the Bucs though.
I'm gonna go Carolina. I like
really?
Teddy. Him and with McCaffrey's out again. Actually,
yeah.
Ooh.
That's
Tampa got blown out.
They did.
By
so
New Orleans.
they're gonna have a big game.
I'm gonna go Panthers.
Interesting choice.
I'm just feeling a little wild about it today. I'm not too confident in any of my picks, but I like them.
I respect it.
Broncos at Raiders. One's easy for me.
Raiders.
Yeah, definitely the Raiders. Derek Carr's good.
Raiders.
My third favorite team, the Chargers at the Dolphins.
Ooh, this is a really good game.
This is a really good game.
Herbert against Tua.
This is my game of the week.
Ooh.
Yeah. 3 or 5.
I'd probably go Miami.
Miami's good. I don't agree with them going to Tua since Fitzpatrick was playing so well, but really? Tua's held his own. He's been fine. And but I love Justin Herbert, but they can't close games. So
yeah,
Miami.
I love Justin Herbert.
I'll be rooting for the Chargers. Yeah, he's my second favorite player in the league after Josh Allen.
I'll be rooting for the Chargers, but I think the Dolphins are going to win.
I am in agreement. My second favorite team in the league, the Bills at the Cardinals.
This is another good game.
There's
some good games this week. I'll go Cardinals. I really like the Cardinals right now. They're playing really well.
The rest of these games are pretty good. Yeah, I'm going to take the Bills. I trust Josh Allen. Okay. Another good one, Seattle at the Rams.
That's yeah. Oof, probably still Seattle.
I'm going to take the Rams.
Really?
Yeah, I'm still traumatized for what they did to the Bears a couple weeks ago, so I will take the Rams. That was embarrassing. I had such high hopes for that game, and the Bears were embarrassed.
Yeah, I think I picked the Bears to win that game.
I think you did too. Yeah, stop picking the Bears.
Tough.
49ers at Saints.
Ew,
Yeah, Saints. 49ers season's over. Close game here. Bengals at Steelers.
Listen, I don't. Steelers, obviously. I'm praying for Joe Burrow's safety. Thinking of the Steelers defense and TJ Watt and Bud Dupree and Cam Hayward getting through that O-line doesn't seem that hard, but we've seen all year with the Steelers, they like to almost choke away really easy games. They literally almost lost to the Cowboys last week. So I'm going to confidently pick the Steelers, but don't think it's going to be as easy as a game as like people think it will. Because Steelers always end up choking, or they choke like halfway through the game and then they bring it back. I don't think Joe Burrow will be able to do much against this defense.
Should I do it?
And I just pray for his safety. I pray that Cam Hayward does not murder him.
Should I take the Bengals?
That's bold.
I'm not doing it. There's no way I'm doing that. Yeah, Steelers for sure.
Now, if Ben's out, which I don't think he will be.
You mean you don't trust Mason Rudolph?
No, not one bit.
I don't like that guy at all. All right, Steelers for both of us. Ravens at Patriots.
Ravens. Patriots are not that good.
Yeah, Patriots are kind of bums this year. I thought Cam Newton would be better.
Me too.
All right, so that was Sunday Night Football, and now Monday Night Football. The Bears' favorite team to play, Vikings at Chicago. It's Monday Night Football, ESPN.
Ugh.
I'm confidently taking the Bears.
Really?
They love playing the Vikings.
But they're so bad.
Not against the Vikings.
Historically, yeah, but like this season.
Gabby, I am so confident in this game. I'm telling you, Bears for sure. You want to put a bet on it?
No.
Yeah, I know you don't, because the Bears could play well against the Vikings.
Because I think I want to take the Bears too. I'm just not as confident in it as you. I think it's going to be a very close game. Where is it? Chicago?
It is Chicago.
Okay.
It's the same scene from 2018 when the Bears wear their orange unis and just beat up on Kirk Cousins when he was like, they moved this game to Monday night for us. And the Bears were like, yeah, okay, buddy. And then they just they tormented him all night.
I don't know. The Bears really need to pick their stuff up.
They do. They do. It's going to be a nice transition into Illinois basketball, and then maybe the Bulls with this new coaching staff after watching the Bears and Illinois football stink it up for a few months.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for you guys. Like, you guys,
it happens.
Yeah, Saturday you watch Illinois football, Sunday you watch Bears football.
Bears are over 500 still.
Well, I'm talking about like last weekend. Last weekend was a very brutal weekend for you.
The
guys.
Bears played terribly against Tennessee, and they only lost by a touchdown, but
yeah, they looked horrible.
Yeah, they look terrible. All right, well, I'm taking the Bears confidently. I think both of our teams are going to win this week.
I'm taking the Bears not confidently.
That was fun to see Brendan as a Steelers fan last weekend.
Yeah, I made him take the sweatshirt off halfway through the game because it was jinxing him.
I saw you were going crazy on Twitter. Your emotions were all up and down.
Oh, yeah, they always are. The Steelers seriously give me a stroke. Like, actually give me a stroke.
Because they win close games. How about Illinois football giving me a stroke? They're losing by...
They don't give me a stroke because I know
they just make me sad. They can bring my mood from the roof all the way down to the floor.
Steelers give me a legit heart attack because it's so up and down.
It's a fun team to root for. I mean, besides Big Ben, Mike Tomlin, that defense, I love everyone there besides the quarterback. Juju's so fun. He's kind of a mean with his TikTok stuff, but he's cool. Yeah. He's fun.
I like him.
All right, well, that's going to do it for today's show, Illinois football. Don't stink it up on Saturday. From Gabby and Josh, this has been Illini Drive.